Hi, and welcome back to Caterpillar CrossStitch. My name is Ford, and I'm joined this week by my supervisor, Nugget the Parakeet. They pulled rank on me and insisted that they be included in this video, because apparently there was no way I was going to introduce the brand new stitch-along for 2026 called Song of the Seasons without them. Pre-order opens on November 28th for this exciting new seasonal bird-themed stitch-along designed for us by Cheryl McKinnon, whom you might know as the Tiny Modernist. It is a 4-part mystery stitch-along where each month we'll stitch a few seasonally affiliated birds from around the world, encompassing the UK, Europe, the Americas, and Australia. Stitch-along subscribers will receive the first pattern on January 21st, and then the final one will be flying into your inboxes on April 15th. At the end, you'll have a beautiful finished piece celebrating nature's melody with charming bird motifs. I guess Nugget's got another meeting to get to. They'll be back in a little bit. Starting November 28th, there will be a live link down there in the description where you can go and pre-order your kit, but even if you're seeing this later, it is not too late to join. You can sign up for this stitch-along at any time. Stitching a project like this with our supportive and welcoming community is a really great way to feel connected and to help keep you excited and motivated and working on a project during those long, cold winter months during which this will be running. 2025 has been a rough year for a lot of us for a lot of reasons, and we could all use something to connect around, right? Why not start 2026 off with this exciting, beautiful, and beginner-friendly stitch-along waiting for you? All of the kits come with beginner-friendly instructions with illustrations, PDF chart broken into printable pages if you want, featuring color and or symbols, whichever works best for you, delivered straight to your inbox on the release date for each pattern portion. And you can either print those or use them as a PDF directly on a digital screen, like a tablet or any other adaptive technology you might use for stitching. The highest quality embroidery floss, which is DMC 6-stranded embroidery floss, in 16 colors, pre-sorted onto these wonderful floss drop cards. And I'm excited to notice that this pattern is going to be using my favorite color of floss. Can you guess which one it is? And these floss holders are a really excellent way to get the fabric for a kit. You've got these great little slits on each one so that you can hold the cut end securely so they don't come unwound. And then they've got these little holes on the side that you can use as a floss drop, just kind of hitching your cut portions through. Some kits come with pre-cut portions of floss, and that makes them less adaptable to your particular style of stitching. If you use a loop start like I do, then you usually want to use a longer piece of floss, or if for other reasons you want to use shorter pieces of floss. If they're pre-cut, you don't get to decide. Your floss is one continuous piece, so you get to decide the length, and it helps keep everything nicely organized for you. With the kit, you'll also have your choice of 3 different counts of fabric. You can get a 14 count Aida, which is what I got in my kit. You can get a 16 count Aida, or you can get a 32 count even weave. Those are all from Zweigart, which is, in my opinion, the best manufacturer of cross-stitching fabric. And all of the kits are lovingly handcrafted by the Caterpillar CrossStitch team in Warwickshire, England, in these nice little cardboard envelopes that help keep everything organized and together for you until you're ready to start. So what exactly is a stitch-along? If you're new, it's a really great way to get started in cross-stitching because you'll be participating with tons of other stitchers from all around the world who are stitching the same project and getting those pieces of the pattern all at the same time. Likewise, if you've been stitching your whole life, you're still going to enjoy this because it uses clever use of color and shape to create a lot of detail without using any of the specialty stitches I spend most of my time here on the channel teaching you how to handle, like French knots and backstitch and fractional stitches. It only uses full stitches. But it has a ton of great colors and motifs to keep stitchers of all experience levels interested, excited, and engaged in the project. And a mystery stitch-along like this one is one where the final design is a surprise, with each portion of the pattern being revealed as those patterns get released. Each month on the release date, you'll get a portion of the pattern delivered to your email in a PDF format of either a color or black and white pattern, whichever you prefer to work with. And they're expertly designed to be easy to follow whether you're working from that PDF or whether you're printing them out and working from paper. Now, if you are a total beginner, you've already found one of the greatest benefits that Caterpillar offers, and that's the YouTube channel. There are hundreds of videos on the channel with a new one coming out every week, covering everything from your very first steps reading a pattern to finishing and displaying your project when you're done. There's also an amazing and supportive community in our Facebook group and across all of our other social media channels. Our Facebook group alone has over 25,000 members, so there's an amazing wealth of knowledge and support available there. Hit the links down there in the description to find our social media across all the platforms. If you're new here, hi, I'm Ford. I host the YouTube channel for Caterpillar CrossStitch, releasing new videos and tutorials every Monday. I am a professional cross-stitcher and cross-stitch educator, and I teach contemporary cross-stitching techniques at the University of Utah in the Continuing Education Department. I started making videos about cross-stitch during the 2020 lockdowns just for fun, and eventually Sally reached out to me and asked me to take over hosting duty of this channel here. Sally is our founder and creative director at Caterpillar CrossStitch. She decided to make her maternity leave permanent about 10 years ago and try to do something creative instead of her boring job as a solicitor, and Caterpillar CrossStitch was born. We focus on quality customer care, support, and simple patterns that are super beginner friendly while still being exciting to experienced stitchers and to kits with the highest quality supplies. And we ship those kits worldwide, so no matter where you are, we can send you the highest quality supplies for this stitch along or for any of our other exciting contemporary designs. I love sharing my cross-stitch knowledge here on the channel, so please make sure that you subscribe so that I'm not just shouting into the void with the tutorials I put out there every week. I try really hard to make sure that there's something for everybody every time. But if you do have a question you'd like to see me answer, leave it in the comments. Another great resource we've got for you is our Stitch Club email newsletter. As soon as you sign up, you'll get an ebook with 10 free PDF cross-stitch patterns in it, worth £60. But that's also a great way for you to take a look at the kinds of patterns that Caterpillar produces so that you know kind of what you're getting yourself into. But then you'll also be kept up to date about any upcoming stitch-alongs, retreats, and those sorts of things coming from Caterpillar CrossStitch. And because we are flying right into the holiday season, I do recommend early ordering of the Song of the Seasons stitch-along. Mail systems can start to get a little bit tied up, so if you want to make sure that you have all your supplies on hand and raring to go when that first pattern drops on January 21st, get it ordered as early as possible. Again, if it's after the pre-order date, there will be a link down there in the description box, so go ahead and go down there and click that so that you can place your order. And since we do ship worldwide, if you're ordering outside of the UK, it is recommended that you pick the shipping option with signature confirmation and tracking, just to be safe. And of course, it wouldn't be a Caterpillar CrossStitch stitch-along without a beautiful coordinating needle minder, would it? A needle minder is a tool for keeping your needles safe when you're not actively stitching, whether you're working on another part of the project, whether you're getting your floss wound onto or off of your floss organizer, or whatever, or if you're just taking a break for a little while. The front part of a Caterpillar needle minder is a hard enamel face with a magnet on the back, and then a second powerful magnet that goes on the back side of your fabric. And that holds the needle minder in place, but then the magnet also is what holds your needle in place when you set it there. If you've ever lost a needle in the couch and sat on it, or lost a needle in the carpet and found it with your toe, I don't need to sell you on the value of something that keeps you from losing your needles. And let me tell you, the Caterpillar CrossStitch ones are the highest quality ones on the market. I see a lot of other ones where they've skimped on the magnet, or they've skimped on the face that they used and used a soft enamel process, which has a metal mesh inside that dissipates the magnetic force so it doesn't hold the needle as securely. The Caterpillar ones use the strongest magnets available and that beautiful hard enamel process to make sure that they are durable and beautiful. And we have over 50 different designs available to complement any project. And if you order 3 of them, you get a bundle discount. And as you can see, the one that goes with this stitch along is a beautiful little birdhouse design, which perfectly matches this pattern in both aesthetic and color, but it would make a great complement for any nature-themed or bird-themed stitch that you might do in future as well. If you upgrade from the standard kit when ordering to the premium kit, that birdhouse needle minder will be included. And then there is the ultimate kit, which is going to include your choice of fabric, as I mentioned before, and that needle minder, plus a beautiful matching themed birdhouse-shaped thread organizer. It's made out of a high-quality durable acrylic, and it has these little holes in the side you can see, where you can just hitch your thread through there to keep it all organized and in one place. Helps keep it all nice and tidy so that your work bag or your work box isn't a tangled mess the way mine always is. But if you just want to get the patterns and want to source all of your own supplies and needle and fabric and thread, there is an option to order just the PDF patterns delivered to your email each month. Once the hustle and bustle and stress of the holidays are over, it's really nice to have something relaxing to look forward to, a way to kind of engage in self-care and focus on yourself and recenter yourself. There's no pressure to complete the stitch along in any particular time frame, but having other people who are all working on it at the same time as you and anxiously awaiting those pattern drops and seeing their work in progress pictures and their customizations really helps keep motivated and helps keep the energy up and excitement to make sure that you finish the project. And it's just really nice to have the support of the community and the Caterpillar team behind you. If you run into any problems or questions, there is, of course, the community. We also have our social media moderators and admins, and there's the team in Warwickshire available to answer questions and deal with any issues that you might have. No question is too small for the team, and you'll never be made silly for asking a question. If you have that question, there's probably other people who do too. We all know that during the long, dark winter months, it can be difficult to keep our spirits up. It's really nice to have something to gather around and connect to other people and feel like a part of a community. And that's what a stitch-along does. That little bit of connection of participating in that stitch-along with other stitchers from around the world can make such a big difference during those difficult winter months. And there is a ton of research that shows that creativity and creation and creative expression is a tremendous boon to mental health. The stitch-along gives you a really good reason and excuse to take a few moments and engage in some self-care. The little bit of time that you spend focusing on the project and looking at the output of your own creativity is really, really helpful. So sure, at the end of the day, when you have that little bit of time to yourself that you get to decide how you spend it, you could just plop down in front of a show and at the end of the night you wonder where the time has gone. Or you could spend that same time watching the show and stitching, or listening to a podcast and stitching, or a magic combination that I've found is listening to an audiobook while stitching. You spend that time still being entertained, but also you have something to show for your time at the end of it. You can look at the before and the after and be like, I did that. Something was created during that time that I spent. And it's really, really rewarding. Creativity has been shown in a lot of research to help with a lot of mental health issues, whether it's depression or anxiety, or I was surprised to find how soothing it was to my ADHD. I thought that I would never be able to cross-stitch when someone proposed to teach me how to do it. It seemed like it was just going to require too much focus and there was no way I was going to be able to. But I found that even just spending a few minutes a day, even just a little tiny short stitching session, even during the most stressful parts of my year, really helps calm me down and helps me get centered and focus on the things that I really need to focus on. So I consider it part of my self-care routine to spend at least a little bit of time stitching each day. And the fact that the stitch-along is broken down into kind of smaller, easier to manage, easier to complete portions really helps keep me motivated and helps me maintain that goal of spending a little time doing it each day. And compared to other arts and other crafts, cross-stitch is great because it's really easy to do in just little bite-sized pieces. You can just pick it up and do a handful of stitches and then put it back down. There's no cleanup, there's no setup. It's just a lot easier to get into and out of when you only have a little bit of time to work on it. That's part of the reason cross-stitch has stuck for me as a craft, where so many other arts and crafts that I tried to pick up didn't really stick. This will be a particularly good project to start in the new year because those beautiful, colorful seasonal bird motifs will be really a nice, colorful project to help carry us in through to those first few notes of spring, at least for those of us in the Northern Hemisphere. Especially since knowing that other people are working on it and seeing their progress pictures and stuff can really help maintain that sense of connections that's so hard to maintain during the long, cold nights. To that end, you can use our special hashtag to help keep you connected to the whole cohort working on this stitch-along. Stitch-alongs also make a really great gift. It's something that you can work on together with a loved one or a family member, or we've also had people buy them for their whole team at work and everybody work on them together during break or during team building weekends or whatever. We've had teams of doctors all buy them and work on them together, or church groups, and they're a really great connecting and bonding experience for people to be able to do together. And because of the way this is designed, it will still be enticing and exciting for the most experienced stitcher, while still being achievable and not too intimidating for someone who's never touched a needle and thread before. And if you put a note when you're checking out that it is a gift for someone, we'll include a gift note in the box at no extra charge. And kind of unheard of in the industry, we have a 100% money-back satisfaction guarantee on Caterpillar CrossStitch products. You don't see that from other designers. That's how sure we are that you're going to like the pattern and that you're going to like the supplies included in your kit. That's probably why we have over 740 positive reviews from customers on Trustpilot. The kit also includes really generous amounts of thread, so you don't have to worry about being able to finish it, and we use only the highest quality cross-stitching supplies from well-known manufacturers. And because of the design being so beginner-friendly while still also being excited to advanced stitchers, that makes it a particularly good gift. If you go in and place your order close to the opening of the pre-order window, you should also be able to be sure that it'll be delivered in time for the winter gift-giving holiday season, whatever gift-giving holiday that is that you celebrate. So this really will be a great project and gift for anyone, even that person who thinks that they're not creative or not crafty. CrossStitch is a perfect way to build that confidence in one's creativity, and creativity, like I said, is one of the most effective tools against so many mental health issues that plague us today. Disconnection is the thing that really is making so many people not happy in their lives, and a stitch along helps create that connection. And creativity helps build confidence and helps people feel better about themselves. So a stitch along is kind of a 1-2 punch for mental health. That's part of why I love them so much. It is going to be so much fun to start this project all together when that first part of the pattern comes out on January 21st. So go hit that link in the description and get your kit ordered now. Like I said, it is a very good idea to order it as early as possible before the mail systems start getting overwhelmed with everybody's holiday cards and gifts. Nugget says that I have been rambling on long enough and that it's time to bring this video to an end. So that is all I have for you this week. I do want to thank you so much for watching. For Caterpillar CrossStitch, my name is Ford. This is Nugget, and I'll see you next week.